Hey guys! So today I'm going to talk to you about the Larktale Sprout and the Evenflo Pivot Xplore. Both of these are stroller wagons that you can buy either from Nordstrom or from Amazon directly and get them shipped to Australia. So we'll start with the Evenflo Pivot Xplore wagon and then we'll move over to the Larktale wagon, because I have done a video about the Larktale wagon before, so I won't go into too much detail on that one today. So the Evenflo Pivot is quite easy to set up. It has buttons here once you've assembled it, and you just push them in and then roll your wheels out. It does take a little bit of getting used to. And sometimes the wheels, if you haven't turned them around the right way, get a little bit stuck. Yep. So that's it there. That extends all the way out. You can have it only a little bit out or all the way down. So it does have two adjustable heights. So it's practically the perfect height for me. My husband's a bit taller, so he found it a bit cumbersome to have the basket on this side. So when he was pushing the wagon, we have the basket over here. And that's a really nice feature of the Evenflo, is that your storage basket can be on the front or on the back. And my toddler, who is about 14 kilos now, she actually sat in that basket. She just fit, and it did not fall off. So it takes a fair bit of weight. These are the reversible canopies. So you can have this flat camo side, or you can flip it around, and you can have this bright lime yellow green color. It's more yellow than green, I would say. They can go all the way down, or you can slide them off. So there's just a little push in there, and the canopies, they come off completely. And they do go either to the middle or all the way to the back. Like I said, little push button, and they slide off. I'll just tip it like this for you guys so you can see. It comes with its own little snack tray, and it's really good. Got the cup holders, got somewhere you can balance an iPad or an iPhone or a normal phone or a Samsung, whatever phone. It just has two buttons that you push to pull it out and clean it. I have put it in the dishwasher, so it is dishwasher safe. Now, I'll just tip it up again so you guys can see. It only has a 3-point harness. So if you're putting a child in here younger than probably 1 or 18 months old, they would probably need to be in the Evenflo Pivot. Like, they've got a little seat that you can connect in. So instead of having your snack tray, they have a seat that clips in there. So then this side here becomes a seat for a younger child, and then you can have your older toddler or child here. I don't have one of those with me today, but they also have a capsule adapter. So if you have an infant, a tiny baby, you can click that in there and have a capsule in your Evenflo wagon. So they're pretty easy to clip up, pretty easy to unclip too. My 2-year-old can get herself out by pressing the button. They do have cup holders for your kids, or toy holders here, 1, 2. In addition to that snack tray, you also have some pockets, so you can put your parent cups, and those pockets are on both sides, as you can see. In the storage bag, you've got a bit of mesh. It does fold up into the wagon. if you're not using it, you want it out the way. The footwell has this nice mesh ventilation and this sort of rubbery, easy to clean material. Now unfortunately, you can't clip the footwell up so that you can just use the inside of your wagon as a nap space. But what I reckon you could do as a parent is you could get a pillow, a better pillow than this, but you could get a pillow, you could shove it into the footwell, and then you could lay, you know, one of your memory foam mats in there, or you could make your own liner like this one, and then you could put that in there even. So this liner is for our Larktale caravan, but just to show you guys what I'm talking about. And then it is a nice little nap space for a small toddler if you need it. I've tried this on quite a bit of terrain. So I've tried it on gravel, I've tried it on grass, wet grass, sand. It's really good. Even with like the full weight capacity in this wagon, so I put my almost 10-year-old and my now 2-year-old in here and push them around, and it was fine. You know, it was a little bit tricky to get going with the 10-year-old in there, but once you were moving, these wheels are a treat. And they're really easy to get off too. If you need a bit more boot space when you're folding it up, there's just a button just in here. You press it in and your wheels come out. It's kind of like the button they have on the Wonderfold wagons, but it's a lot easier to use. So the Wonderfold wagon buttons, it's really hard to get your wheels off. And these wheels come off as well. You just have to find the right button. Let me have a look. Yep, there it is. It's a little stick out pin button. So with all the wheels off, I'll show you how much smaller you can fold this down. It'll definitely fit in your SUV. So you just, these buttons here again, and then flip your basket over. That's as small as it's going to get, but as you can see, it should fit in most sedan boots at that size, which is great. Look, it's made out of pretty good materials. I did make my own little faux leather handlebar covers because it only has foam here, and so that just for me is a nicety. I enjoy the feeling of that fake leather handlebar cover as opposed to just foam underneath my fingertips. But if you don't mind foam, then that won't bother you at all. So to buy this wagon in Australia, you're looking at about $700 to $800 depending on the US dollar to Australian dollar conversion rate at the moment. The wagon is really well priced in Australian dollars. It's shipping it here from America that costs the extra money, unfortunately. So yeah, you're looking at $700 to $800 including shipping to get one of these wagons. And then if you do need the extra capsule adapter, if you do need the extra infant seat that you can put in here, that's more money again. Yeah, so I'm going to move this one out of the way now and we'll have a look at the Larktale Sprout together as well. It doesn't come with any other extras other than the kids snack tray and the parent basket, so it doesn't come with a parent console for the handlebar, but I was able to put the Pronto parent console on there and it fit quite well. Okay, so the Larktale Sprout. Now this is one of my favourite wagons. It is so versatile. This is how I fit it in my car, nice and easily. It has 2 seats with a 5-point harness on each seat. I've only got 1 seat with me here today. However, it does come with 2 as standard. And it comes with a rain cover. And I have misplaced it because I don't really like it It also comes with a parent console. With the parent console that the Larktale Sprout comes with, I found it a little bit flimsy, so I use my Wonderfold parent console on here instead, and it fits on beautifully. Your seats, they clip in at the back. See this? And then you don't need to unclip them to fold the wagon down, but I'm just going to show you what the seats look like. So they both look like this, and one zips in on each side. They have that 5-point handlet harness, lots of nice padding. And they're very easy to use. They just clip in. So they do completely come apart, as you can see, like that, if need be. But they just clip in like that. And you've got a 5-point harness. It's not particularly generous, even if you used all the length. I think you would struggle to get a child older than 4 into this harness. So I'm just extending it a bit. Hold on, so you can see what I mean. So the way it comes set up originally, it comes sort of set up for your 6-month-old, 8-month-old baby to sit in here on this lowest setting, and then it sort of grows with them. You got your 12 months and then your 2 years line. But yeah, I don't see being able to get a child older than 4 into that harness. Okay, so I'll pop the seat back in a second. I'll just show you how it goes back in. First I'll show you how to extend it. This is the best picture of the Sprout. It can be compact like this for one child, or you can see under here there is a white button that you press on both sides, and that is how you pull out to make it a 2-seater. And then under here you can see there's also a white, and you pull that out, and that way the other child sitting on the other side has a nice sturdy bit of frame to sit on. I'll just tip it up so you guys can see how to put the seats in and out. Oops, and lock. Got to make sure you hear it click so that it's locked out of the frame. Okay, so you can see here, it has a zip part just there. And so what you have to do is you have to line it up, and it's a lot easier if it's not on its side, but you have to line it up just like that, just like lining up a zipper on your jacket. In it goes, and then you just zip the seat on like that. And then there's just one more little step after you get the seat on. And that is underneath your 5-point harness. There's a little bit that clicks in, and I'll show you, I'll tip you underneath. And you just gotta poke it back through. So if you take the seats out completely to wash it, or because you don't want to use the seats, or if you're sleeping a little baby in there, it's got a pretty hard base, so you kind of need to put a memory foam mat in there if you want to sleep a little baby in there. I'll just show you underneath it again. Sorry, you can see here. This, I had to poke that back through, and that's just for the harness so that it's secure to the frame. And then you see this comes over here, and you have to Velcro that back around, zip that back around, and then this just clicks in here, like that. And that's your Oh, it's the wrong seat. Yeah, the seats have to be on the right sides. So the seat on this side has got a much shorter length, and that allows it to stay upright and be securely held upright. And the seat on this side has the much longer length, and that's because it goes and clips in all the way down here. So it's a bit different. Okay, well, while we've got it turned around, let's have a look at the storage basket. It's very deep and generous. It is screwed in to the frame, so it can take a lot of weight. It can take supposedly only 3 kilos, but I would hazard a guess that it could take more weight than that. And this whole wagon can support, in total, I think they said 50 kilos of children when I looked up the specs. So that's pretty good. You're definitely going to get a good amount of use out of that if it's a wagon for one child. And even if it's a wagon for 2 children, your kids will both be in here until they're 4 or 5 easily. All right, let's have a look at the canopy, and then we'll talk about the shopping basket mesh. So the canopy comes all the way out. There's a part here that unzips. So if you don't want the mesh ventilation, summer in Australia right now, but if you were in the USA or England or somewhere on holidays, or even in Australia, sometimes it gets cold and windy in winter, you can zip that part up so that you don't have the mesh. If you unzip that though, you're going to see here that your shade coverage is only good for 1 child. If you unzip it, you have enough shade coverage for 2 children. See how it's better? Zip that all the way out. It's not perfect, but that child is getting a fair bit of shade coverage. I'm going to take the seat out of here. Like I said, you've got to pull the little tab at the bottom in and out every time you unfasten your seats. It's always a bit difficult because it's got to go through some plastic core flute in the base. So I haven't actually removed all of this fabric and machine washed it before, because I find that wiping it down and vacuuming it seems to keep it quite clean, really. But you can remove that fabric completely and put it in the washing machine. Okay, so I'll tip it up again. Special mention here, it does come with a parent cup holder that's quite good. And it does come with a parent console that attaches onto these little bolt clips. It's just that I don't like using it, so I've got it in storage. Now, it comes with a mesh attachment here that zips in, and it makes the front of your wagon a shopping trolley. Now, I'm going to say, quite truthfully, I have never used this because I just put a giant rubber beach tote in the front of the wagon and use that. But these go under here, and they just Velcro on both sides. They just Velcro on. And then this part Velcros onto it up here, and then it gives you a little bit of space there to separate your kid from your groceries, and that's all it's for. So if you're just using this for one kid, then that's a great little option. It pushes beautifully. All the Larktales have a really wonderful stroller-like push to them. It's not like pushing a trolley at all, especially when you have it in this single rider mode and you only have one child in your wagon, it's very zippy. And it's quite good even on the beach, across gravel. Probably the only thing is if it's really rough terrain and stairs, it's a bit difficult to move it around everywhere, but you can lock the wheels. There's a little button that you press and that locks the wheels. Maybe not. I wonder what that button's for if it doesn't lock the wheels. Oh, there we go. That locked. I just didn't do it right. There we go. Yeah, so you can lock the wheels if you're on rougher terrain, and I find that that does help with getting over the bumpy stuff because the front wheels don't spin around as much. To fold it up, you just pull up on these like a lot of your normal strollers. I like to pop that away and tuck it in here just so it's out of the way. Now that is, I'm pretty sure, how you can attach a rider board, a Larktale, rider passenger board onto this Sprout wagon, but I don't own one of those, so I haven't tested that. Yeah, look, it's a great product. Before I had tested the Pronto, this Larktale Sprout was 100% my favourite pram wagon for 1 to 2 kids. Even without having a footwell, it's just so compact, so light, it's so easy to push. The fact that you can make it smaller or bigger depending on how many kids you have. The only downside is it didn't come with a snack tray, so I've used the Wonderfold W2 snack tray on here to some success. That fits quite well. I imagine a Keen snack tray would fit on here quite well because of the way it clips on. And Larktale do sell a little snack tray for their caravan, but I don't think it's compatible with their Sprout. So that's really the only downfall, the only accessory it didn't come with. It came with, like I said, it came with a rain cover, it came with the parent console, and it came with a storage basket. So it came with a good arsenal of accessories, which is nice. I feel like all pram wagons should come with the accessories you need to use them as functionally as possible. And the brake's just here, and it's just a little 1-foot brake. And when you put it on, it does hold it steady. When you take it off, you can't just go. You have to roll back and then you can go. So that's a good feature too, actually, I think, because the brake doesn't just disengage. You have to actively move the wagon back a little bit in order to disengage the brake. Yeah, I don't know what else I can tell you about these. Look, if I had to pick one over the other, I would probably pick the Larktale Sprout. I just think you're going to get longer use out of it for your kids. And I know that Larktale do sell a capsule adapter that fits the Sprout, so you can put a newborn baby and a toddler in this wagon quite easily. The Evenflo was much better on rough terrain. So if you're living on a farm or down at the beach, the Evenflo is probably a better option. I didn't show you guys. The Evenflo has a pull handle. Yeah, so definitely that's another downside for the Sprout, is it doesn't have a pull handle attachment you can put on it at all. Okay, so we're going to have to put the wheels back on. I'll show you how easy that is. You do have to make sure they go on the right side, or they won't lock in. The rear wheels don't matter, but the front wheels do matter, that they go back on the right side. And they've got a little bit of colour on them so that you can see what the right side is. Sorry, just gotta, you do have to have your hands on both the pins at the same time to lock it back out. So this one is green. So green. And this one is yellow. Yellow. And you can't lock these wheels, I don't believe. But you don't need to lock those wheels, because if you are on rough terrain with this pram wagon, what you do is you pull it out. It has a little locking pin here on each side, and it becomes a pull handle, so you can pull your wagon. One of my brakes was on. Yeah, so you can pull the wagon, and I've pulled it uphill, and I've pulled it along grass, and I've pulled it along gravel, and that works brilliantly. And to click it back in, you just push it, ready to go again. Honestly, this thing pushes better than the Pronto on rough terrain. The Pronto is the best stroller wagon to actually push. It just is so light and has such great maneuverability, but this is a very close second. And obviously, if you're on rough terrain, you have got the option to pull, which just, yeah, it's great. So in that respect, you can use it on more varied ground surface types than the Pronto or any of the Larktales. I do love that pull handle feature. Okay, that concludes our video today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas.